everyone. Welcome to yet another episode of Renaissance with Swati. And today I have a very special guest with me, Dr. Arpita Kaul. She's an assistant professor with Sri Venkateswara College in Delhi University. She has a rich experience of 12 years and she has written 11 books. Been teaching subjects like human resource management, organizational behavior, leadership, etc. And with the onset of the new education policy, she has also been teaching yoga as skill enhancement. So, hi Arpita, how are you doing today?
Hi Swati, I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good, thank you. So, Arpita, you might not remember me, but I remember you as a senior in my school. You were always so inspiring for juniors like us. You were out there taking initiatives, inspiring us, and I had that privilege. And it really seems good to see you after so long.
I remember you. I do remember you.
Okay, so Arpita, why teaching and how's teaching different in college than teaching in schools?
I never knew that this is where I'm going to be. I mean,
Okay.
like you said, I am very outspoken. I do take
Right.
initiatives. In fact, in my graduation, when I completed my graduation from Daulat Ram, I had a job in hand with GenPact,
Okay.
but I
Okay.
never joined that. Definitely, my parents have a role to play in that. But then I got through CIE, that is Central Institute of Education for B.Ed. And I was being told, people were coming with sweets to my house telling me that this is the Asia's best educational institution. You must join it. I
Right.
joined it and I realized it was the best experience I could ever have. And I
Okay.
realized that teaching is my calling.
Okay.
So, though it is more to do with school teaching, but then I did my master's, and somehow it so happened that I ended up in college teaching. College teaching is very, very different from school teaching since, the age group that we are dealing with are the end of teens. So
Yes.
they're already shaped up.
Right.
In
Right.
schools, you do as a teacher do shape them up and all that, but now with us it's like we are getting ready-made people who have
Right.
their own personality, who have their own values, they have a judgment system, and all that.
Right.
So
Right.
it's very, very challenging for us to have these people, and that too very, very diverse people from very, very
Mhm.
diverse backgrounds,
Right.
and suddenly they get so much of freedom. In school they have a rigid timetable. They
Mm-hmm.
cannot go anywhere,
Right.
and with
Right.
us it's like they have all the freedom, they can go anywhere they like. And so the trick is that we have to make sure that we keep them on the right track. Beyond the theories, we give them the skills to deal with the real world.
Yep.
So college
Yep.
is a mini real world whereby
Right.
they see how it's going to be when they end up
Right.
in organizations, when they end up
Right.
in their lives, in
Right.
relationships, how
Right.
they're going to deal with them. So that's what college teaching is all about.
I can understand that because when I stepped out of the school, it seemed like school is a bed of roses. Everyone was there out there to support us. But as soon as we step out into college, there is no one to support us. We are all on our own. And so the college teachers were important to help us shape in that proper direction. So that is a very important role that a college teacher plays. So
Right.
that's nice. So, Arpita, with the evolution in academics, how do you feel that the curriculum has evolved over time? Is it still the same? Is it still theoretical or more practical now?
The curriculum has definitely evolved with the new National Education Policy 2020. We have a lot of choices for the students. So, I mean, the system goes something like this. Let's say you're from commerce,
Hmm.
and in your first semester, you have these discipline specific courses of commerce like financial accounting, business law, and so. But
Right.
beyond that, you do have a choice in something known as generic elective courses, which is something
Okay.
which will be a non commerce subject like public finance, maybe
Okay.
statistical
Okay.
theory,
Okay. Okay.
or yoga and
Okay.
stress
Okay.
management,
Okay.
something which has nothing to do with commerce, so that
Right.
you're diversifying your
Right.
kind of
Right.
portfolio. And not only that, not only the generic elective, you have to take up a skill enhancement course,
Okay.
which is like I have been taking yoga in practice. That's one of the examples of skill enhancement course. Another one being digital marketing. I mean,
Okay.
that's the norm
Okay. Yeah.
nowadays.
Right.
Social
Right.
media marketing and
Right.
many other courses.
Okay. That's really
Python,
nice.
R, yeah, so all that.
Right.
And you have something known as value education, also value
Mm-hmm.
addition courses like art of being happy
Okay.
and
Nice.
culture and communication. So
Yeah.
definitely a
So,
lot of changes have taken place. And not only this, you have an ability enhancement course whereby you are compulsorily studying environment sciences. You do
okay.
understand with the
Okay.
climate
Okay.
change and sustainability
Right.
being the buzzword, how
Right.
important it is. So,
Right.
there are a lot of changes, trust me, internship being one of the
Right.
important
Right.
part whereby you get to learn working with
Mm-hmm.
the organization. It's not the same. What you used to study, what I used to study, it was very, very different.
That's really
Uh,
wonderful. Yeah, because
it has
from a
changed
whole
for good.
yeah, because now people are being taught from a holistic perspective, not only the subjects, but about the environment, about the psychological aspects, about managing stresses, yoga. So, Arpita, why yoga? Why did you choose yoga as one of your subjects?
Well, see, I do have my own personal selfish reasons. I have already done a few courses, Art of Living course, basic
Okay.
course,
Mm-hmm.
advanced course. I have been
Mm-hmm.
active with Sahaj Yoga also,
Okay.
some
Okay.
Western courses,
Yeah.
Reiki, etc.
Right.
So this was something I was always interested in. I did it for myself, for my body, for my well-being. And then I
Mm-hmm.
realized that if I take up the course, I will also be in shape. And I mean, it so happened I got the opportunity
Right.
and I grabbed it. And
Mm-hmm.
definitely, yoga is nowadays it is actually very very important,
Of
not only in
course.
India
Of
but all
course.
throughout the world.
Of course. Of
The
course.
one French lady getting a Padma Shri for yoga.
Right.
It speaks volumes about how
Right.
important yoga is. So for
Right. Right.
students who have a lot of stress because of the all kind of pressures that they have, maybe
Mm-hmm.
from parents, maybe the peer
Mm-hmm.
pressures. So I think yoga is definitely one subject which nobody should think about. They should just do it.
Nice. Nice. That's really nice. So, Arpita, you also teach leadership as a subject, right? So, how does
Yeah.
it help the upcoming leaders or the budding leaders? Because I'm working in a corporate as a leader. So, I wanted to understand how does this course help who want to be leaders?
Yeah. Uh, I mean, honestly, leadership theories have also evolved. They were also like, once we used to believe that leaderships are born, they are not made. But
Right.
believing that
Right.
they can be made, the curriculum goes something like this, whereby you have certain theories evolving from the trait theory to
Mm-hmm.
the current Hersey Blanchard contingency model. That
Mm-hmm.
is, leadership is not about, it's not something, there is no one best way of
Of
leading.
course. Of
It's
course.
very situational. So, depending
Right.
on the kind of subordinates that you have to choose your style of
Mm-hmm.
leadership.
Right.
Uh, so this curriculum, or rather, I'll say how
Mm-hmm.
I teach leadership is definitely certain theory is being taught, but at the
Mm-hmm.
same time, certain case studies are being
Right.
focused on.
Right.
One of the classic case study that I have been taking, for all these years, and especially it relates to my other subject, marketing as well,
Okay.
is Narendra Modi as a leader.
Okay.
Okay,
Nice.
so whereby it's about your own prime minister,
Mm-hmm.
how he has been marketing himself,
Right.
or rather maybe selling himself also,
Right.
and at the
Right.
same time leading as well. That's one
Exactly.
case. If you go
Exactly.
back,
Yeah.
it will be Mahatma Gandhi maybe.
Exactly. 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 Yeah.
So from your environment, learning from these people who have done great, and both ways, I mean, the pros and cons,
Mm-hmm.
the positives and
Mm-hmm.
negatives, how your
Mm-hmm.
personality should be. So I think
Mm-hmm.
leadership is a very very interesting subject. The first time it was introduced here in university was, I think, somewhere during COVID,
Okay. Okay.
2020,
Doing.
if I'm right, 20 or
Yeah.
21.
Okay.
And I was teaching it online, by the way, at that
Okay.
time.
Okay.
Yeah, so on MS Teams, yeah, our classes
Right.
used to happen. We used
Right.
to have our
Right.
own tea groups, and uh, since then, I've been teaching leadership. I am working on a book now. My next project is on leadership
Nice.
only. So I
Nice.
think it's something. really very interesting, and especially for those who are not very outspoken.
Of course. Right, right, right,
Yeah.
right,
For
right.
them, it's a very, very, very interesting subject.
So, Arpita, I see still a lot of students who are confused about their graduations, that, what should be their next steps. They don't know whether to pursue higher education, whether to do MBA, whether to do a government job, whether to do a private job. They're not aware of their next steps. So, what advice for those students?
See, it's very individual. In the sense, majorly there are two options. One is after your graduation, you join a job. Another is you go for further studies.
Hmm.
It does depend on your circumstances. One is when you are really not looking for money, you can
Hmm.
afford it,
Right.
so you can afford to study.
Hmm.
I advise that if you do have the time, if you do have the money, go
Hmm.
ahead and study
Okay.
because you're in a mode, you're in a
Right.
mode to study.
Right.
Once you join a job, it will be very difficult to come back and start study.
Of course. Of
So, for
course.
those of you, I do understand your circumstances are going to decide if you can afford it. But if you're not, so financially stable, then definitely the only choice you have is going ahead and joining a job.
Right.
Campuses are providing a lot of placements,
Mm-hmm.
and I do believe that many a times it so happens that I do take human resource management also. You have done very well in the interview, but you don't get the job, and then
Mm-hmm.
you're
Right.
worrying like, why did I not get it?
Right.
Because there's
Right.
something known as job and person fit, organization
Mm.
and job fit, and all that. Students don't understand that,
Right.
and
Right.
so it's okay. I mean, there is you need not lose heart. You should
Mm-hmm.
keep on trying.
Right.
But yeah, the choice is very simple. If you
Mm-hmm.
can afford it,
Mm-hmm.
you do have interest in studying, go
Mm-hmm.
on, complete your
Mm-hmm.
studies. If you don't, if you are looking for financial,
Mm-hmm.
growth, then
Right.
go ahead and do a
Okay.
job.
Yeah. Because a student came to me recently and she asked me the same question. And I told her that, see, in India at least, being financially independent for women is very necessary before they get married. Because after that, you don't know what you will be able to do, what you won't be able to do, at least in our circumstances. So the advice
Yeah,
I gave her was almost similar that, if you think that you can afford it to study further, study further. But if you think you have to be financially independent, before you get married, then go for the job. That is what is the advice I gave to her.
right.
Yeah. So it was really nice talking to you, Arpita. My last question is that you have written so many books. So what is the inspiration behind, being an author?
Uh, Two reasons. One is it was my dream to see my name on the book cover.
Nice.
And the second one is that, the kind of books that I write, and my publisher also keeps on coming back to me and telling me,
Okay.
ma'am, the way you write, whereby you're giving so many illustrations and examples,
Mhm.
I just want to stick to. So my publisher has actually, he's after my like, now which book is coming? Now which book is coming?
Right,
My uncle
right.
is also like, whenever he meets me, he's like, so now which book? How many books are you writing? I wanted to share my knowledge with the
Right,
students.
right,
So that's
right.
the other reason that why I, keep on
That's
writing
really
books.
nice. I also want to take that inspiration from you, maybe offline, that, I also want to publish a book, not on the subjects, but in general about life or motivation and how should a budding author should write a book, it's a big step to write a book and getting it published, selling it to the market. So
Yeah. And
yeah.
now it's like, now it has become a habit.
Yeah, right. Once you do one, then it becomes a habit. I understand. When I started this podcast, the first one seemed to be very difficult, but then it became a habit.
Yeah,
So I think it's with everything.
true.
Yeah. Thank you, Arvita, for giving your valuable time to me today. It was really wonderful talking to you, and it was very insightful and motivating for me. And I'm sure every student and everyone watching you would be very inspired and motivated by you. Thank you so much, and have a
Thank you,
good day.
Swati. It was
Thank
lovely
you.
talking to you. Thank you
Same,
so
same
much.
here. Thank you. Good day. Bye bye.
Bye.